Good evening, and welcome to another Think About It Thursday. My name is Henry Dotson, and I am the founder of Our Journeys of Faith Life Coaching. And I'm just glad to be here today. This has been an interesting week. We had some weather here that is unusual for Southern California. We actually, in our yard, we actually had some hail. Yes, hail. And it actually stayed on the ground for a while. It didn't just hit the ground and melt and go away. It was pretty cold for Southern California standards. And we have snow on the mountains at a fairly low elevation. So this has been a different week. And also, I think we have an interesting week that coincides with what we're talking about this week. And so our Think About It Thursday topic is to think about a time when you were recovering from an injury or an illness. Did your recovery go as smoothly and as quickly as you wanted? What was your attitude during recovery? So, this is our Think About It Thursday topic. And the reason why we're at this point and talking about recovery is because we've been talking for a good while now about a purposeful cancer journey of faith. And we last week we talked about what we call the ordeal or the point in the journey where the whatever was the outcome of that journey was going to have a drastic effect on the rest of the cancer patient's journey. So we talked about this is the moment in time where the doctors or others say, if we can just get past this, then everything will be okay. And you struggle your hardest during this time, and everything is really up to how well you are able to survive that. And if you come out on the other side on the positive end of that, then that means that you would be on the road to recovery. That means that would be your restoration to health. If you come out on the other side of that with things not turning out the way you had expected, then it may turn out that your cancer journey is the terminal illness that will bring an end to your life here on earth. But fortunately, we as Christians, we know that life here on earth isn't the end. And we also know that our ultimate healing will not come on this side of eternity, that we all will get our ultimate healing from all of our sickness and our pains and our sorrows. Well, that will occur on the other side of eternity. So, either way, you're going to get your healing. It's just a question of whether or not you're going to get it on this side of eternity. So, we're moving forward from that conversation that we had last week, where we talked about it being an ordeal and you not knowing which way it was going to turn out. And we talked about at that moment how you would have to submit yourself and entrust your whole self, meaning your body, mind, and spirit, whole self to God if you're on a purposeful cancer journey of faith, because it's only then that God can act in his full capacity because you've turned yourself over to him fully. And so at this point, we're talking about being on that side where you're going to see recovery and remission. So the question for this week is when you're on that road to recovery, um, how will that look for you? And so we started off our week with our Monday mindset, which is you will travel the road to recovery. Again, assuming that you have passed through the ordeal and you came out on the side of the ordeal that says that you will recover from your ordeal and you will be healed on this side of eternity. So, what is the road to recovery? Well, the road to recovery is a series of steps that the patient will go through to achieve restoration back to their health, his or her health. And that doesn't mean that everything is going to be a bed of roses. No, there's still going to be some physical challenges and setbacks that have to be faced, and need for support still exists. But as time moves on, it becomes more and more evident that you're going to survive this cancer journey. So the road to recovery ultimately leads to resurrection and restoration of the body to good health. But again, this does not mean that you're going to return to the physical state that you were in before. It does mean that you will be able to restore to the health the best health that you can get to. But that doesn't mean you're going to be able to do everything that you used to be able to do before you went through the parts of the cancer journey you've gone through before to this point, and your bodies will have changed. So yes, you are on the road to recovery, but that road is still, depending on each in person is different, but depending on their circumstances, that road can last for a quite a while, or it could be relatively short. So we can't say for sure, but when we know that we're going to get better, we have to have a mindset that we're on a road to recovery. And that's why we asked the Think About It Thursday question, which was, how do you travel your road to recovery? Are you trying to get through it quickly? Do you think it's not passing as fast as you want it to? Well, I'm sure that if you've ever recovered from just let's say an injury that you knew was not life threatening, but it was significant, let's say, or a surgery like a knee surgery or something, you can recall how your recovery went, and you can think about, did you were you patient in that, or were you just eager and you couldn't wait and you were just wondering, how long is this going to take? Or if in the course of your recovery something, you had a setback where they had said, well, you'll probably be okay in the next X amount of weeks. You have a setback, and then they say, well, now it's going to be X plus more weeks, and you have to then deal with that in your attitude. So the question is when you're on that road to recovery, what's the attitude that you have? The other thing is, when you're on that road to recovery, what kind of support system do you have? Have you felt like, well, once I get through this major hump in my cancer journey, all of those support systems and people don't need to be there anymore? Or do you still lean on them to help you until you return to health? We're encouraging, of course, that you use that support system not only when you get back to good physical health, but also just on your regular life's journey, so you will maintain a good emotional and mental and health, and also in your relationships, because they don't have to just be around for the bad times. They should be there for the good times too. So I said before that this is kind of interesting because this past week has been because of our topic. And that's because I actually got sick between now and the last time we spoke, and I had to be on the road to recovery. It was nothing about the cancer journey, but there's this stomach flu or something that's been going on around here, and a lot of people that I've known have gotten it. Well, I got the bug too, and it took me out of commission for 3 days, and it took me a while to recover, but I knew that I had to be patient and let my body tell me when it was time to get up and try and get moving again. So I thought it was just an interesting coincidence that I had some recent personal experience about being on the road to recovery. And I could share that with you to say that it's not just with your cancer journey, it's with anything that you have to recover from. So, as usual, moving on, we also have our Tip Tuesday, which is a time when we find a quote that also is aligned with what we're talking about. And this week we had a tip, and it came from Amanda Linhout, And the quote that we picked out for this week was, "The road to recovery will not always be easy, but I will take it one day at a time, focusing on the moments I've dreamed about for so long." And so we want you to think about, as you're on that road, that the time that you'd been dreaming about when you were at your worst, that they're getting closer and closer with every day. And that'll help you with your attitude. So we want you, this week, we put that out there for you to keep in mind as you're on that road to recovery. And hopefully it will help you with your attitude, because that's the one thing that you do have control over. And it makes the biggest difference, next to your faith. It has the greatest importance in how you experience your journeys. And then we move on. Of course, we want a scriptural reference to the road to recovery. And I found that it was very interesting, about this road to recovery and why it's important. And so we find that in First Peter 5 and 10. And there, Peter is saying that, I'll just read it. "And the God of all grace, who called you to his eternal glory in Christ, after you have suffered a little while, will himself restore you and make you strong, firm, and steadfast." So we know that after you've suffered for a little, that God is going to make you strong, firm, and steadfast. So that's where we continue to lean on our faith in what the word says, knowing that the word is true, that helps us on that road to recovery. So we'd like for you to contemplate that as we go through this next week. And um, again, the Think About It Thursday questions. Think about a time when you were recovering from an injury or an illness. Did your recovery go smoothly and as quickly as you wanted? And what was your attitude during that recovery? So hopefully what we've shared today will help you to realize that you are going to have setbacks, that you are not going to recover, and you're going to be the same as you were before you started your cancer journey, but your health and wellness will be restored. And that, because of your faith and what the scriptures say, that God will bring you back to your health. So with that, I just want to take the last minute or so to give you a reminder. We're excited about this, and that is that we're going to have our, hang on, I'll get it straight here. There we go. So we are having a one-day workshops on March 11th and 25th. Those are Saturdays, and they're going to be from 8 to 5 p.m. online, so you don't have to show up anywhere. But we'd like for you to attend if you can. There is a cost, but what we're going to be talking about is how to transform your bout with cancer to a purposeful cancer journey of faith. And there's a lot to it, and one day certainly won't cover it all, but it's a good way to get an introduction to what we're talking about. And so hopefully, if you've saved the date, and I would say starting tomorrow, if you would go to our website, ourjourneysoffaith.life, you'll see on the homepage in the upper right corner, you'll see a button to click if you just want to register. If you want to know more, then on the menu bar, there's a menu item called workshop. And if you click on that, you'll get more details about it so you can understand more fully. And I would actually encourage you to do that anyway before you just register. I mean, we'd like you to register, certainly, but at some point you should take a look at that. There's a video in there, and there's also the written words there, and that would help you to be more familiar with what we're going to be doing on those 2 Saturdays. So with that, I'm going to wish you a good week, and we look forward to seeing you next week on Think About It Thursday. And hopefully we'll see you on the Saturday, one of those Saturdays. So until then, take care This is Henry Dotson from Our Journeys of Faith Life Coaching. Bye bye.